Hello and welcome back to the Lapdown Podcast. If you're new here, I'm getting this in early. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching us. Drop a like on the video. Let us know. Just let us know how your thoughts are with regards to this F1 season for 2025 so far. If you're listening on audio, just do what that is, but not on that platform. Do the equivalent on whatever it is you're consuming this on. And my name is Dan, and I'm joined by Alex, and we are going to talk about the Hungarian Grand Prix.
We are. I like the change it up the format here. It's Summer Dan. The summer edition of Dan gets the ads in early. We're an ad-free podcast at the minute. If you'd like to sponsor us, you can. We'll get the sponsorship shout out in there as well. But I like that. The self-promo at the start of the episode.
Get it in.
Got a lot of time for it. And we've got a lot on the starting grid, actually, for this episode. We kind of had our usual little... we do our own grid walk, basically, to give you a little peek behind the scenes of how this pod works. Me and Dan do a little grid walk together before we start recording of the things we want to cover. And there's a lot on the list today for a Hungarian Grand Prix that, if we're honest, wasn't a banger, but wasn't bad, but also was not a good race of 20 cars, but was a good race for 2 cars. So there's some more chat about that and what actually makes a good race. But we've got some Star Wars business, strangely, for Formula One. We've got some petty business. We've got some shout outs and some shout downs. I don't know. We've got some big ups and some big downs to talk about, basically. And then we've got an age-old question for an Australian of name that swear. Which, I mean, if that's not going to get you to stick around for another 18 minutes of chat first, name that swear, and that might become a recurring segment. This might be my favourite thing ever. But where should we start, Dan, with the Hungarian Grand Prix? How did you feel about your Hungarian experience in Budapest?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I got over the fact that they demolished a children's hospital for the new grandstand, so we moved on from that quite quickly. We boxed it off. Decided that was okay. How did I feel about it? Pretty similar to how you kind of boxed it off there, to be honest with you. It just feels like on the scale of bangability, which is definitely a word,
yes,
it just sits in the middle. It isn't banged. I'm not unbanged. Look, racing occurred for 70 laps of the Hungaroring. And as you said, the bit at the pointy end was actually good. It was good in the sense that it was close enough to keep you interested, but there wasn't really anything happening until the final kind of moment because they were never near enough to do anything. But it was kind of, what is that? Who's that scientist about the cat in the box type thing? It's one of those.
Schrödinger.
Exactly. It's one of those. It's like, it's so close that it's like, isn't it happening? Isn't it? And then you get to the end, something happens, you go, oh, that was quite good. Actually, for a lot of it, not much happened at all, even at the sharp end of it.
Yeah, it was one of those.
It was like an ODI.
It was an ODI. It was a slow burner. No, it was one of those almost a little bit like the Hamilton Verstappen era, which I understand is a big call, but one of those where it was a long run down. It wasn't wheel to wheel racing. It was, different sections of the track kind of racing, but it was a hunter and a huntee. It was someone trying to cling on out in front. It was a timing grid Grand Prix. It was a timing tower Grand Prix of just watching that number and just being like, that's come down a little bit, and that's come down a little bit again, and that's come down again. And then you get to like the last 3 or 4 laps and you're like, I don't know if that's coming down enough. And then we get a little bit desperate, and then there's like a one big move on like the third last lap, and you're like, well, no, that's it now. But there was at least a little bit of jeopardy in it. There was at least a little bit of strategy. We've got a little bit more chat about that in a second, about what McLaren are doing, because I've got a lot of time for it. But It was nice to see first and second, and almost to a certain extent third, because George Russell kind of ran his own race as well. George Russell finished third, by the way. I don't know if you knew that.
Who?
But George.
What does he do?
Quite nice hair, takes his top off a lot, white jeans.
Oh.
Mercedes.
What, the young Italian lad?
No, other one.
No?
Woody.
Nah, no idea.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
The top 3 all kind of ran their own race and got to the goal in different ways. And you know what? I like that. I've got a lot of time for that.
Yes. But it's not perfect, is it?
No, and you'd like to see wheel-to-wheel racing, really.
Well, I think everybody would, wouldn't they? So it's a murder mystery.
Yep,
That's what it is. It genuinely is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've read 780 pages of a book. You get through to the 781st. You get to the end of it, and you knew who'd done it all along after about the first 3 chapters.
You know what it was like, actually? It was like a high school stage production murder mystery.
Ooh, yes.
Where it was good enough, right? And I paid £6 to go and watch it. And it was all a bit shit. And you kind of saw what was going to happen. Yeah. And there was a few rough edges around the place. It wasn't perfectly executed. But a couple of them can sing. And you know what? You thought, oh, my niece is in it. She's cute. I had a decent enough time. We went to Pizza Express beforehand. That was all right. Decent evening.
Yeah, until the drama teacher everybody thinks is a bit weird starts crying on the side of the stage, because actually it's all about them. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with the children, but they then feel like Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not famously a stage director, Mr. Spielberg.
No, but my knowledge of general kind of directorships is kind of limited. So, and I'm aware that he is one. So you
Andrew
can fact check
Lloyd
it if you
Webber.
like. You can start splitting hairs if you like.
That's F1 as well, because there's Webber in it. Andrew Lloyd Webber. Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. I think it was Phantom of the Opera. That might need a citation. I'm pretty sure it was Phantom of the Opera. He's written a lot of musicals and a lot of the music for musicals.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Well done, Andrew. But yeah, a high school drama production of a murder mystery, I think is sort of what we had.
Well summed up that.
Yeah.
Well summed up.
That's why
they
pay the medium bucks. On that strategy talk, though, fair play to McLaren, I think, for the way they're approaching strategy in what is a 2-horse race at this point, but they're not. They're trying to play equal footing, which is great, and they're letting them race, which is great, within let's race sensibly. And again, I think that's great and fine, establish some boundaries. But I like that they're splitting these strategies, or not necessarily splitting strategies, hey, you'll do this, we'll do that, but just letting them decide, like, what would you like to do? And I read something earlier that they're allowing them to do that as long as it's not necessarily a surprise to the other side of the garage. So they're not trying to catch each other out. And they've probably discussed all of these strategies with each other beforehand. But it's up to you which one you decide. And if you're feeling more comfortable on this and more comfortable with that, like, you crack on. And I think that's a really nice way to go about it, that is going to give us more situations like this, where it's not 2 papaya cars within 3 seconds of each other for 55 laps.
Yeah.
There's a couple of papaya cars. One of them's going to win. But we don't necessarily know how they're going to get there.
Yeah. Do you think and they've got a big brain play here. Do you think there's a little bit of, we encourage that because we think it's the best and the most fun and the most fair for everybody, but equally we get to keep our kids kind of 18 to 28 seconds apart for a long time.
Yeah.
And actually a lot of the stuff that we think people are probably thinking we should be worrying about, we don't actually have to worry about it because they're never close enough to actually kind of do anything.
I think there's that. And I think in a weird way, the more options you leave on the table and in the hands of the individual driver and their side of the pit wall and their side of the garage, it makes your life easier because you're not making those top level decisions. It's not as if you're going, right, we're going to run the same strategy, but we can't pit you both at the same time because you're too close together. So someone's going to have to stay out for an extra lap, and all of a sudden that strategy was no good. The more I think they, keep them apart, as you say, maybe not even on track, keep them apart. But if you can just separate them a little bit, that you never have to worry about not being able to double stack them, or double stacking in itself brings inherent risks, even if you do have the gap to do it. I think it's a win-win all around. I think it's a win for us watching and the sport, and then it's probably a win for them because it's probably the path of least resistance to where they want to go, I would say.
Yeah. 9-point difference, summer break, calling one or the other.
So, no, you know what? I was about to drop on you a few weeks ago. I asked you, who's winning it? Bookies got on 50-50. Who's winning it? And you went Lando. And I was going to ask, right, summer break, 2 McLarens, 1 and 2. Who's going to come out on top in Abu Dhabi? You said Lando before. Is it still Lando now?
I don't know.
He's won more recently than Oscar has he?
Yeah, but Oscar's won more Grand Prix this year than what Lando has.
Yeah. So, I think Oscar probably clings on. I say clings on as if, that's probably an unfair phrasing of it. But I think Oscar probably does enough to retain that lead, because I think they'll remain very evenly matched. And what's the swing between P1 and P2?
So, there are other bookmakers available, but William Hill currently has Oscar Piastri at 13-8 on, and Lando Norris at 6-5. So there's not much in it.
Yeah.
but they have actually gone for an Oscar Piastri favourite. Whether that's 9 points is enough to kind of back that points or price swing, I don't know. Wildly, you can still get Max Verstappen at 50-1.
Ooh. Waste your money.
Surely he's got as much of a chance of winning this World Drivers' title as Lewis Hamilton has at 750-1. Also, if you are feeling particularly exciting, and I don't quite know why you would decide to do this, Gabriele Bortoleto. And this could be a good segue. Could be a good segue. Well, it's not why I've teed it up, but it could be. 5,000-1 for Gabriele Bortoleto to win the World Drivers' title. He is the longest odds, right?
Well, he's not statistically out of it.
He has World Championship points.
Yes.
He has them to his name. So therefore, he is closer than Franco Colapinto.
Yes.
Who is 3,000-1. There is £2,000 difference between Gabriele Bortoleto and Franco Colapinto to win the 2025 World Drivers' title. And I think Bortoleto has significantly more points than Franco Colapinto.
Well, I also think that statistically, Franco Colapinto has been eliminated from contention for the Drivers' Championship. I think there's someone that every week on Reddit posts who can no longer mathematically win. And I'm pretty sure he's been eliminated. So
plot twist.
Oh.
What money would you like on Jack Doohan?
But also, statistically, cannot win it. It is impossible. It is mathematically impossible for him to win it.
3,000-1.
Okay. It's still not betting on him because he can't win it.
He doesn't even have a car.
Nope.
He has no car.
We haven't seen him in weeks.
And he's short. He's a shorter price than a Brazilian with car keys and points.
I mean, in fairness, both of them can't. They are both equal in the sense that they both can't win it.
Yes.
One can't win it because he doesn't have a car, and one can't win it because he's too far behind. But they both can't win it. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting. So there's a couple of things. First of all, I'm not going to let you get away without picking a papaya car.
I don't really care.
Are you saying? Do you think Piastri hangs on, or do you think Norris tracks him down and overtakes him?
See, I think controversially, I think we start to see a bit of favouritism towards Lando. Lando's the golden child. I think subtly on the sly, we see a little bit of favourability go towards Mr. Norris.
Interesting.
There you go.
Interesting.
I don't know why. I've got nothing really to back it up other than just vibes. So
vibes.
that's
Just
vibes.
vibing it.
Vibes.
On that as well, and there are a couple of segues to come out of that, so it's hard to know which way to go in. But we saw some excellent performances by pit crews in this Grand Prix. We had our fastest pit stop of the year and all the rest of it. I would like us to normalise drivers thanking their pit crews on the radio after a good stop. Because manners maketh man, right? And I don't feel like we ever hear a driver come on and just go, yes, boys, great stop. You've got like 8 seconds as you're just trundling down the pit lane there after you've had your tyres changed, and you know when it was a good stop or when it wasn't a good stop. A little press on the button radio, yes, boys. Great work, lads. Done. Just an audible arse tap is what I would like from drivers more often, please.
Done.
Yeah.
Get it in there. Put it in the regs.
Ooh, politeness. A politeness regulation.
Now, not kind of don't swear down the radio, but just be a good human being.
Yeah.
Why not? Like, because obviously, okay, so Max and Lawson, Max and Liam, obviously one I know personally, so therefore I can call by his first name.
Obviously.
The other one I don't, so therefore I have to refer to you by his surname. Going into the little chicane where you can't go side by side down there, clearly, as the commentary kind of tees it up of the junior team and the former teammate, and all of a sudden you've gone, oh, Max has gone past him. Why again? Why is that instead of this?
More fingering.
Why is there not? Why is there not that on the way past?
Less fingering, more thumbing is what I'm hearing.
Do you know?
We need to thumb it in more.
Do you know?
Okay.
Just carrying it on.
Yeah, we need to thumb it in more.
I'm running with it.
Why not? On the Verstappen thing then. So this is a stat I saw earlier, which I think sums up how bad of a place that Red Bull is in at the minute. So Max Verstappen has completed 200 Grand Prix with Red Bull. And in that time, if we ignore DNFs, of which he has had 28, he has finished outside of the points once in a race that he has completed. One time. One singular time out of 172 odd races at that point. That's insane for a start. But I think it just puts into context how doom and gloom that must be at Red Bull at the minute. I mean, he's finished P9, okay? So he didn't finish P10 as such. He could have been slightly worse and still hung on to it, right?
Yeah.
But we're getting into like less than 1% territory here in terms of what that car performance is at. Oh boy. I mean, vibes cannot be good in that bit of Milton Keynes, surely.
No. No, I guess they're probably not. And I don't necessarily think sacking Christian Horner is going to be the thing that fixes it either. So, look, the thing that they've got is a massive positive, and it was something that like Channel 4 had said with regards to Piastri and Norris, is the fact that everybody starts at zero again next year anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's not a case of Red Bull looking down the barrel of kind of 8 years of being off the pace because they can't get the regs right here. It's not one of those again, is it? It's not. We're going to see. We absolutely could, but it's not guaranteed that McLaren are going to go and dominate Formula One for the next 5 years. So they were kind of saying about how important it is this year for Norris and Piastri to kind of get this thing over the line because there is no guarantee that next year is going to become available. And Red Bull have kind of got that as well, haven't they? They've kind of got it this year. Yes, it stinks. It sucks. They've sacked the boss. They've pissed around with their driver lineups. I suspect they might do it again over the winter and switch around some more people, bring some different faces in and stuff like that. And then they get a free hit next year anyway. And if, as you've kind of used the reference before, they've taken all their ingredients for the regulations and everybody's turned up with a lump of wholemeal bread and they've turned up with some glorious kind of chocolate fondue fountain with Victoria sponge dipping fingers and stuff like that, brilliant. Good for them.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll go to Bortoletto, shall we?
Yes.
Because you once again have staked a further claim for him to become the new official preferred driver of the Lapdown podcast. And I tried to push back because my concern was that you were looking towards on-track performance. And he has done wonderfully well. And he's had another bloody good weekend. And he's scored another bloody big load of points. And I think he's now probably... He's going head-to-head with Mr. Hadjar, I think, for the most impressive rookie of the year.
Yep.
But then you brought your key witness to the stand. You dropped the glove that does it fit, does it not? And I'm prepared to make a bold claim on the back of this. So yes. I'll give you the floor to present your evidence to the tribunal of official preferred driverage. And then, I think we've got a bold statement to make.
Yes. Well, anyway, Gabriele Bortoletto. This is something I've been campaigning for the last probably 4 episodes at least, if not longer, maybe 6. We can't be sure. I can't really remember. I don't know. My dates and diaries don't go that far back. However, he's been in a good bit of form lately, and as you've said, you're not quite prepared to concede or change for on-track performances because on this podcast, that actual points and performance is not important in the slightest.
Least important thing we consider.
However, it does enable you then to do more things. So Gabriele Bortoletto gets out the car, doesn't have to go to the podium because he's not quite there yet, but that's not what we're shooting for. We don't want that. We don't want that. Everybody's going to be a Norris fan. Everybody's going to be, but the preferred driver of the Lapdown podcast has to be a little bit off-piste. And I present to you Gabriele Bortoletto. Finishes P6 in Hungary, gets out the car, back in the pit lane, meets his girlfriend in a crowd of people, embraces, and maybe lips touch. Maybe there's a romantic embrace in the pit lane at the Hungarian.
PDA.
Exactly, PDA. And that's not it, Your Honour. Get to the end of the clip and wait for the cheeky little look that Gabby Bortoletto gives to whoever it is that's filming this piece of content. And he's given the look and he's gone, I'm a dirty dog.
For the record, just to put this to the tribunal official notes, he doesn't say, I'm a dirty dog. That's implied. That's subtextual evidence that is being entered. There is no movement of the lips at that point. The lips have already moved. But he does pull a little face of, I'm pleased with myself there. And it's for that face. It's not for the necking on with his missus, because Lando necked on with his missus over the barrier and whatever.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's not about necking on with someone. It's the reaction to it. It's the face he pulled that just went, yeah, I know. I'm him. It was the I'm him face that I am prepared to make. Yes, I've signed it. I've signed it off. Congratulations, Gabriel Bortoleto. You now get the treatment of the pronunciation. Bortoleto, the official preferred driver of the Lapdown podcast. If you're driving, please don't join us in clapping. If you're doing anything else, please join us in a brief clap.
Also, goodbye Argentina, because Anglo-Argentine relations have generally gone particularly well over the years, and you are clearly very British, so therefore
obviously.
You've completely fucked that up. And hello to all of our new Brazilian fans.
Hello, Brazil.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome. Welcome, Brazil.
Obrigado. Is that thank you?
I don't know. I only speak Hungarian. So, hello.
Hang on.
There we go. There we go. Oh, boy.
Hola.
There it is.
Probably
there it is. We've nailed it. Hola, as well, Aston Martin.
Oh, for reference, sorry. Obrigado is thank you in Brazilian. So that could come in useful at some point.
No, we thanked Brazil because all of Brazil are here now, I'm sure. Yes. That's how this works.
All of them.
But hola,
yes.
Aston Martin. Because what a weekend for the Green Boys. As we were talking last week about whether they're going to lose their name, they've now had a bloody good weekend.
Is it hola or is it adios?
You're the one that's meant to know how to speak Brazilian.
No, I have. I've just Googled it and it is adios.
You said hola.
No, because adios is goodbye.
No, but it's hello, Aston Martin, because they did well.
Gone.
No, they did well.
Gone. They've sold it.
No, they did well.
No, yeah, but they've sold that bit.
It's still Aston Martin. They did well.
Yeah, okay, they did well at the weekend, but it's
that's what this podcast is about. It's about the weekend.
Right. Gotcha. Well done, Aston Martin. Good for you.
Bloody good weekend from both of them. I mean, it feels wrong we've got Lance Stroll finishing 2 places ahead of Max Verstappen. That's not how that's meant to work. But, I mean, neither of them really did anything wrong, to be honest.
No, they existed, didn't they?
They existed, and they existed well.
Motor racing happened.
Yeah. Yeah, they just had a good, tidy weekend, boatload of points. I saw something that apparently Aston Martin are refusing interviews from Sky Germany because Sky Germany don't really talk about Aston Martin much, but when they do, it's to shit on Lance Stroll, so they're not going to give him interviews anymore. And by that token, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get to interview Mike Crack any point soon, Dan, because most of the time we talk about Aston Martin is to say how shit Lance Stroll is as well. So, any questions you would have asked Mike Crack if he was going to be on the podcast this week? He's not going to be, but...
Why'd you keep driving him?
Yeah, it's a great question because it's daddy.
But apparently Aston. So we spoke last week, didn't we, about Aston Martin trying to sell their 4.6% stake, which is obviously a huge stake. Because I could have guessed, but apparently the car business is a bit of a flop at the minute.
Yeah.
So they've signed a binding letter of intent to sell its 4.6% ownership in the Formula One team to an unknown buyer. But I have also seen the fact that an unknown buyer is also Lawrence Stroll. For $146 million. That's a lot of dollars, isn't it?
It's a lot of dollars for not a lot of percents, is what I would say. I mean, 4% being $160 odd million. You think that's quite a few dollary dues.
But I think they're probably just quite expensive. Although, hang on, 6 days ago, Aston Martin confirms timeline for F1 exit. Aston Martin valued at $2.4 billion.
That's a few.
Of the car companies. Well, 146 million isn't really going to make that big of a dent in a valuation of 2.4 billion, is it, for Aston Martin?
No, it keeps the lights on for a little bit longer, though, I guess. So, at the end of the day.
No, well,
At the end of the day. This is quite a quick question. We mentioned Isaac Hadjar before, and we saw Hadjar get nailed with a lump of gravel on the finger and seemed quite concerned about that. We've not heard anything since, so I'm assuming that there's either nothing majorly wrong there, or they're just going, he's got 4 weeks off now, or 3 weeks off, or whatever it is. We'll see how we're going. Are you surprised that we don't see more gravel injuries? I think Grosjean maybe broke a digit a few years back with a similar thing. It just surprises me we don't see this happen more, because, I mean, the speed those cars are going through that gravel and how often they seem to go through the gravel, they're kicking up a load of bullets. And I'm just surprised that more of them don't seem to find a fragile target.
Do they go through the gravel as much as what we think they do?
I feel like you see plenty of gravel get flicked up. early doors laps as well.
The thing is, there's so many circuits now that either have no gravel or the gravel is so far away from anywhere that's potentially interesting or exciting. I don't know. It was one of those that it crossed my mind when it happened. And I kind of thought, oh, that's odd. Because as you say, I would think, oh, okay, well, that probably would kind of be the case. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you the last time I saw cars in kind of close kind of areas going through. Because, I mean, Spa last week, there's not really much of it left, is there, really? Like, the exit of Turn 1, I think, is tarmacked. Eau Rouge, sensibly, is tarmacked. All of Les Combes is all tarmacked through there now. So there's a lot of tracks now that there isn't that jeopardy of you go offline and all of a sudden you end up in somebody's garden. You just kind of skirt across some more tarmac and carry on. So, yes, I see what you're saying, but I don't have the evidence or the statistics to back it up. I don't know. It just doesn't.
I mean, there are no evidence or statistics. It's a purely hypothetical question of I just can't. It just seems so surprising to me that it's so rare that. Yeah. One of these, maybe it does hurt and they just carry on, they don't mention it, but I'm just surprised it doesn't happen more often because there's no protection in those gloves. There's nothing stopping it.
But even like the high speed ones, I guess, where that gravel's really going to fly up is tarmac. Like Maggots and Beckett's, if you go off there, you just go across some grass and some tarmac and carry on again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Game's gone, isn't it?
Well, your game's gone anyway. Dan's on a downer note this evening. Dan don't want to play with no gravel.
I'm not on a downer note. I've got my preferred driver of the Lap Down podcast, Gabriel Bortoleto.
You've been spending too long thinking about and listening to Lewis Hamilton, which is my segue into our next little section. Lulu's not having a good time. I would say we've come a long way from the kick-ass Don photo of him stood in front of Enzo's house with the cars and the big jacket and having a walk around and kissing babies and shaking hands and having a great time.
For the championships.
And now it's not that anymore.
It's a hard watch, isn't it?
It's a really fucking hard watch, yeah. And it's a hard listen, and it is doom and gloom. And where does it go?
Well, I don't know. I mean, and I think everybody else is under the impression that he's got kind of a 1+1 contract, isn't he, with Ferrari? So the end of 25, and then somebody, and I don't know who, has the option for 26. I dare say someone of Lewis Hamilton's kind of might and power would have the option to turn around and say, yes, I'd like to carry on. Or I don't necessarily know if Ferrari hold the cards to be able to turn around and go, nah, you're good, actually, mate. We're going to go somewhere else. I wonder if people thought he was going to be the number one driver at Ferrari. They don't seem to have kind of provided any preferential treatment for others. The garage seems pretty happy with old Charlie at the moment, and I suspect a lot of that's to do with the fact that he's just been around for a while, and can deliver the occasional bit of good news. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, what do you think happens? I mean, there's big rumours, isn't there, about this announcement on the 8th of August. You think it's just going to be a T-shirt or something? But
yeah, I mean, the fact that he was putting that out with like a teasy style image. I don't think you put a teasy style image out if you're going to, bin yourself off mid-season or anything like that. The weird thing for me with the whole Lewis Hamilton saga, right? I know Ferrari have not had a crash hot year, but we are consistently seeing Charles Leclerc top 5, top 6, the odd podium. He's there. He's where we would expect it to be. And Hamilton isn't. So this isn't a Yuki Tsunoda situation. Yeah, sprint races though. But this isn't a Yuki Tsunoda situation where we all know Yuki is a good driver, and to be honest, Liam Lawson's a good driver, and to be honest, Sergio Perez is a good driver. It's just not a very good car to drive at the minute, and it's being driven exceptionally well. I don't think it's that at Ferrari, because we didn't see this last year. We've not really seen this at all recently with Ferrari. Your two Ferrari drivers tend to run pretty closely in the points. So it's kind of has to be Lewis's fault, which is I say that under my breath, having already incurred the wrath of Argentina this year. I don't want to now incur the wrath of Team LH44, but it has to be Lewis at this point, doesn't it? I don't know how long, and I think at the start of the year we gave him a little bit of rope of new team, new setup, new environment, new car, lots of muscle memory from a Mercedes. You know, I think we were all happy to give him an acclimatization period. I feel like after we've just finished, round 14 or something?
Yeah.
We're probably used to the temperature of the bath now, aren't we? Like, what excuse can there be that is not he's maybe past his best?
I don't think there is an excuse other than the fact that I just don't think people want it to be true.
Yeah.
Myself included. Like, I put myself in that category. Like, it is always sad to kind of see somebody get to that point of a career. And in an ideal world, you always want to see somebody walk away at the top, don't you? That's kind of what your desired thing is. But it doesn't seem to happen with Formula One. I mean, Fernando's come back and he's not really done much. Michael Schumacher came back and certainly didn't do much. And Lewis Hamilton kind of has tried to continue on, and it seems to be kind of progressively on a bit of a downward trajectory.
Ricardo.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't seem to kind of work, does it? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the one thing in that kind of interview, in the bullpen or whatever it is they call it, was the fact that, like, do you still enjoy racing? And he did pause and then kind of went, oh, no, I still do. But I don't know whether he meant it.
I mean, the bloke's PR trained within an inch of his life, isn't he? I don't think he's going to turn around. I mean, even then, some of the PR training we're just peeking behind the curtain of that, I think, with some of his answers recently. But, yeah, there's no determination in it. And we are being armchair psychologists here, and I fully accept that, and we are making wild assumptions based off we can read in the media and all the rest of it. We're not body language experts and all the rest of it. But when I've thought about Lewis Hamilton before and his radio messages, even when they're behind it or something, there was always a determination undertone in what he would say and in his voice and all that sort of stuff. And I'm not hearing any of that anymore. And it is tricky to, when you're not at the top, I'm sure, to find the same levels of determination that maybe you once did. But
yeah,
I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
No, I don't think it's there. I don't think it's there. And I don't... The thing is, as well, is I think if Ferrari managed to stumble across an incredible car for 2026, I think Charles Leclerc would just be better than him anyway.
Which is just... and that's not even a Lewis Hamilton thing. That is just Lewis Hamilton is, by F1 terms, old as balls. And no matter how good the underlying skills are, I've got no doubt that Lewis Hamilton probably is a better driver than Charles Leclerc in terms of if they were both 25 and in an equal car and all the rest of it. I think Lewis probably does win that, but he's not, and that's just your reflexes aren't quite as good. Everything's just doesn't quite work as well. Yeah, does it? So, but
and he doesn't seem that happy.
No, and you you play all sport and do all things better when you're vibing with it, don't you?
Yeah, so. You tend to. You tend to be a bit more excitable, don't you, about life?
Anyway. To finish off, we have a new game brought forward by Dan Jads that
I've brought a lot to this podcast this week. I've brought housekeeping at the beginning, I've brought Gabriele Bortoleto, and now I've brought what is probably going to be your new favourite game.
Yeah. Here we go. Right, you can play along with this one at home. We've got a new game. It's called What Swear Word Did George Russell Say on the Radio? And it's round one. Play along at home. I will give you the sentence, and you need to fill in what the swear word is. Now, I'll tell you from the top. It's a 4 asterisk swear word, but that doesn't necessarily mean, I don't think, that there were 4 letters in the swear. It could well just be that that's just the default blank. A little bit like when you put a password in, and it just just because there's 8 asterisks don't mean it's an 8-digit password, right? So don't let that skew you, right? That's a penalty. Beep. Turned in on me during braking. Now, Dan, I'm going to read that sentence to you again, and I'll pause this time for the swear, which is going to come after the word penalty, and I'd like you to insert it, and then I will carry on with the rest of the sentence.
But the thing is I don't think I can insert it, because I think the word that I want to use means different things in an Englishman's voice and an Australianman's voice.
An Australianman's?
Yes.
But George Russell's English, and you're English. So
He is, but I don't even know if I want to say the word out loud.
Here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. Which word did George Russell say? That's a penalty.
Cunt.
turned in on me during braking. Do you reckon George has got a cunt in him? I don't know if he does.
The thing is, it's so limited as to what it can be.
I think it might be bastard. Bastard turned in on me.
But do you not think if it was that they'd go 8 asterisks?
I know, I don't, because I don't think they want to. I don't think they want to give you clues to the game. I don't think.
But the thing is, if they don't give you clues for the game, you can never get yourself to a point where you actually think you know the answer. This is the issue.
Dick? I don't think he's going to call him a dick. Cock?
This is the
he's not going to call him a cock.
And I don't really know how many. I don't know whether. Well, to be fair, I'm not really sure whether the word that I've just used kind of works.
I can tell you it's 4 letters.
With a Monaco. No, I can tell you that. But I don't know how often it's used in Monaco, is what I was saying. I don't know how often that word was used in the Leclerc household when they were growing up in the Principality.
I mean, he hasn't said this to him. There's no proximity chat.
Do you think there's a chance that he just called him a twat?
I think you're being thrown off by the 4 asterisks. I think they've thrown you a dummy there. That's my vibe. That's my vibe. Is it censored on? If you go back and watch on F1 TV, are the radios censored?
Oh, I've no idea.
I might be able to get an answer to this game, and if there is, I'll stick it in the comments for those of you playing along at home. But there you go.
Notes.
So the comment section could be a spicy one, but stick your guess in the comment section for what George Russell called Charles Leclerc, because keep your kids and your grandma away from the comment section, right? Because it's going to be an absolute cesspool in there. But there you go. And that give you a hot tip. Anytime from now on we see some asterisks in a team radio, this game's coming back out the draw. If someone knows how to make a jingle, please. If someone has jingle skills, lapdownpod@gmail.com, send us your swear game jingle, and we'll get that in the pod.
It'll be a bit like a watershed, though, won't it? It'll be at the end of the podcast.
Always at the end of the pod. Yeah. So if
Right.
you've got young ears like our fantasy playing team in Australia.
No, but to be fair, in Australia, as I say, it won't matter.
True. I think they are like 9 though. So
probably. I look, you'll know better than I will, but I would imagine that's probably common vocab.
11. I can get to 11 and then you're in. Dan, if they'd like to find you on the internet, where can they find you?
Well, first of all, you did pick up 10 points in the lap down.
Oh, of course,
Drivers Random Point World Championship.
I'm so used to neither of us scoring any any points. So
both are probably accurate.
Yeah.
But you did have Fernando Alonso, picked up 10 points, so good for you.
My boy.
I had Kimi Antonelli, and I had now the preferred driver of the Lap Down podcast, Gabriel Bortoleto. And I picked up 9. So it currently stands at 169 points to you, to 142 points to me. And that puts you at a 27-point lead in the Constructors' Championship. I don't know, where would we be in the World Constructors' Championships? Because we are teams here, aren't we? So one moment. Whilst I'm kind of... You can go and find me on the internet at DanJads, and you can watch cricket stuff if you want, but that's not important. But that is important is the fact that you have, what did I say, 100 and...
I've got 149, which is going to put me 5th.
Yeah,
I'm very much leading the midfield.
Yeah, so you would be a Williams, and I would be just behind you.
Yeah, so we would be 5th and 6th.
Yeah, we're close.
Good amounts of money come the end of the year.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Good amounts of money.
Anyway, how about you? Where can they find you on the internet?
Twitch.tv/Hey Look It's Alex. And if you want to go follow the podcast in other places, lapdownpod@gmail.com. You can email us, lapdownpod on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. You can go see clips on there, and you can play along with the swear game. The format over the next couple of weeks, Dan is on the move to the Caribbean, which is going to play with things a little bit, but also we're on summer break. So there will be a couple of special edition pods on the way through, barring any ridiculous news that occurs, like Lewis Hamilton deciding to suddenly quit the sport or something. But we've got a couple of pods to jump on through there. But if you've got any questions as well that you'd like us to address, well, we've got a little bit more time over the next couple of weeks to dive deeper into some topics. Again, lapdownpod@gmail.com, or just stick in a comment on any of the socials.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Have a wonderful summer break, everybody. Dan's going to get more and more tan over the next few episodes, so we should track that as well. And in the meantime, have a wonderful couple of days, and we'll see you at some point in the next week or two.
See ya.